Let us get started. We have to get started because it's also being live streamed. You do not want people to wait over there in the virtual space. So welcome, everyone. My name is Bhramar Mukherjee. I am the chair of Michigan Biostatistics. I have been chair for the last 6 years. I'm in the last hours of my chairpersonship, and I'm delighted to welcome you to Michigan Biostatistics. It has been my absolute privilege and honor to be the chair of this department, one of the oldest departments of biostatistics in the world. When was Michigan Biostatistics established? Any ideas? Guesses? The nearest neighbor gets an award or something like that? Any show of hands? Yes, please. 1970. Next guess. Close. Not quite there. 1957. 1949 is the answer. We are so you're closest, nearest neighbor. I'll keep you in mind for an honor. I think that 1949, that means 75 years of existence, and this is one of the campuses where the statistics department is younger than the biostatistics department by 20 years. We always say that we are older and wiser, but many of you are probably considering statistics as well. But I think that it is fantastic to see this enthusiasm for our profession in statistics and biostatistics. So I have this sort of feeling that I have to do better than GPT-4. So I asked ChatGPT and GPT-4 that what is your advice for graduate students in biostatistics? And the first line is very interesting. As an AI language model, I don't have personal experiences or emotions, which is very important, right? That's where I felt like I could do better, right, to show you some of my personal experience and emotion. But what they said as an advice is actually quite good. Stay motivated, develop good study habits, network and collaborate, keep up to date with the latest research, communicate effectively, seek your mentors, and take care of yourself. I think these are pretty good advice as a graduate student or for a faculty, for early career researchers. These are pretty good advice. So what could I tell you that is not achievable or Googleable or searchable? That's my own unique personal journey and experience. So I went to grad school at Purdue Statistics. I'm not going to tell you when, but it sort of reveals that I was at a first major conference in 1999. That it reveals my age, but I'm proud. So our statistics department, and it was a very theoretical statistics department. There is no data. In my dissertation, there is absolutely no data. My advisor prohibited that. And so we were in a math department building, so our really dream was very altruistic. I mean, there are many people who wanted to solve the Riemann hypothesis, and so changing the mathematical universe over coffee and pie, that was my grad school. But the grad school for me was really a window into the world. In my office, there was a person from Germany, there was a person from Korea, there was a person from United States. We got to know each other's culture, each other's favorite food, and who we are through people, different countries, the window into the world. The second big part, and I do not recommend it, was actually being a graduate student and a parent. So what happened was that my daughter was born in the second year of grad school. So this is truly the blackboard taken from the office of my grad school, where I spent the whole day working on some very tedious and tenacious equations, and then I stepped out and someone just wiped it off and repainted a flower over it. And that's really my daughter, and that's really the couch in my office, which we fought over. The person who actually got earliest to the office got the couch. So this is what grad school was about, and my daughter was always babysat and taken care of by smart graduate students. When you're poor, people actually help you. So there is something really, really fascinating about being poor and the proletariat, not the bourgeois. And so I think that it was like a village of international students raising each other and supporting each other. So these two people are phenomenal statisticians, and they are in different parts of the world. And I was really not a good graduate student. So I'm encouraging you to embrace your failures, your struggles. My thesis was on optimal design for estimating the path of a stochastic process. I don't do anything remotely related to a single word of that dissertation. So this is my advisor, Professor Bill Studden. So this is a before and after picture, after my PhD and before my PhD. Professor Studden was a wonderful person. He graduated with Samuel Carlin, who is the father of probability and stochastic process from Stanford, and got his job at Purdue. And from 1964 to till then, he retired, stayed in the same job and same office. So I was quite different. So it was a very interesting conversation between me and Professor Studden. But after years of toughness, and like I do not have a single co-authored paper with my advisor, and we can talk about that story in my personal room, but he then finally accepted me as a Facebook friend. I was one of his 3 Facebook friends, and I'm very, very proud of that. Professor Studden passed away a few years ago. And you know, I had the sense of being orphaned in the United States, because regardless of how tough he was my academic parent. So what I did in graduate school, I was very passionate about leadership, and I was very passionate about communication, that I should be able to communicate my technical work to a broader audience. And I found 2 amazing female mentors and role models. The first female chair at Purdue Statistics, Mary Ellen Bach on the left-hand side, and Professor Rebecca Dodge, who was the dean at Carnegie Mellon and now the provost at RPI. And she was an assistant professor. And you know, when you're an assistant professor, then graduate students are your friends, because senior faculty do not pay attention to you. So I and Rebecca bonded a lot, and I always feel till this day, every career move that I take, I am the chair, she's the dean, so she's N+1 for me. And so I always text her and say, is this something I should do? So it's very, very important to cultivate those relationships. So networking is very important. And I really think grad school is not about academics. Grad school is really about friendship. Friendship with a group of people, and you can see that we have aged, some of us gracefully, some of us not so much. And so every year, at the joint statistical meetings, which is our biggest conference. How many of you have been to JSM? Yes. So this we get together because Purdue has an alumni reception, just like Michigan does. So you become a part of a community. That's what grad school was about, and that's what I think ChatGPT missed, because it doesn't have emotional and personal experiences. So coming back from me to Ann Arbor, what grad school is all about. Ann Arbor is the most beautiful city in the world. And you can see that this is the center, which is my favorite. I really like a lot of art and cinema. And Michigan Theater and State Theater, where I spend most of my time when I'm not looking at a computer. And the sky in Ann Arbor is always blue. Look at it outside, like it's never gray. You can quantify that. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about the School of Public Health, because many of you are probably coming from a school of in engineering or College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. School of Public Health is structured slightly differently. So the departments are not physics, chemistry, and mathematics. The departments are epidemiology, environmental health, health behavior and health education, health management and policy. So it's important for you to situate yourself in the school, because many of us coming from a math stat background often think, what am I doing in terms of my peers in other departments in the school? But it has been really inspiring and liberating to learn from non-quantitative scientists to identify important issues in public health. So you can see that we call ourselves the rocking chairs. The chairs form a very close-knit group, and we have amazing leadership at the school. And our dean happens to be a biostatistician and an alum of the department. So he understands our challenges, and that it has been a pleasure to work with the dean who is biostatistician. Biostatistics leadership, and as I said, that I grew up with seeing a lot of strong female mentors, and I enjoy working in a team with two brilliant women. Kelly is here, Associate Chair for Academic Affairs, and Professor Lu Wang, and who you are going to see later on. And we have a lot of fun together discussing many different aspects of life. This is all of us, all of the faculty. As I said, that this is not just the oldest, but one of the largest, finest, and kindest biostatistics departments. And we take pride in the last word, kindest. We have a lot of faculty, and last year we recruited 9 more. So we really, faculty are working in various different areas and mentoring students, and students are a big part of the research. Current students, too many to fit. And so if you zoom in, it's going to just go to a microscopic level. So just let me give you some number, 262 students from around the world. And we are an international community of scholars, and it has always been so. People from all over the world have come to Michigan Biostatistics for their training. So our mission is really in terms of providing high quality training and education to the next generation of biostatistics students. Our graduate program is rated very, very high, and as you probably know that our department is also ranked quite high in terms of the major biostatistics department, and one reason is that the graduate students and the alums. We also consult very widely across campus, bringing biostatistical design and analysis expertise to the campus and to a wide spectrum of health-related issues. But being in a school of public health, most of our work is related to health. It's not uncommon or it's not rare that somebody works in a social science project or an economics project, but rarely they all have some kind of connotation and implication for human health. And I think that our faculty and staff work on important areas of current biostatistics research, developing new methodology, but we also consult and collaborate widely and extensively. We are committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion in the data science workforce. And overall, we want to be, and we thrive to be, an intellectually vibrant and socially progressive community. Our areas of strength, and many of you have actually written these areas, some of these areas, some of them are quite classical: missing data, longitudinal data, survival analysis. This is classic bread and butter biostatistics. But then on top of that, there are emerging areas: electronic health records, environmental statistics, in terms of big data, data integration. New areas are emerging. And I'm not going to quite put artificial intelligence there, because I do not think faculty are working as much on Gen AI model. That research is coming, and I'm happy to take questions on that because I think you probably are interested. So along with our academic goals and metrics and numbers, it's very, very important that we walk into this room, this space, this department, this school with some shared values. And what are our shared values? We definitely want to encourage bold exploration of idea, not playing it safe. Purposeful inclusion, doing a work for the broader good. Collaborative spirit, not just competition, and self-determination and well-being. These are our values, and I think often in academia we get lost in terms of goals and metrics and forget our values. And that's something that I want to remind all of you. Now, what does a chair do? This is a chair's message. So a chair keeps the trains running, and sometimes Ann Arbor does look like that. I lied. And in the winter and in the summer, but a chair also creates new directions and destination for the community that they belong to, for their students, for staff, for faculty. And in my first, when I became chair in 2018, I had a Vision 2020, a 3-year program. And I wanted to enhance our curriculum. I wanted to strongly support and bolster our research computing infrastructure. I wanted the department to have a better culture, integrative department, impactful research, not just like, published in high-tier journals, really translated to practice and impactful. have a distributed form of leadership where students are stakeholders in the governance of the department, and also strong biostatistics footprint. So even, right now I hold a position in the Office of Vice President of Research, and my office is very close to the university president and the provost. And it is a unique opportunity to say that biostatistics and data science is important to the university leadership and across the university. In post-COVID, of course, nobody wants to be chair during COVID, let me tell you that. But I could not predict, I'm not such a good forecaster, so COVID happened and we persevered. But post-COVID, we really came up with a different kind of vision in the later like 3-year term, the last 3-year term, in terms of working really closely on our climate, enhanced mentoring, and we can talk a lot about that, and the mentoring cross-cutting through peer mentoring, graduate student mentoring, faculty mentoring, and also leadership. We have a new professional development course where we talk a lot about leadership in professional, scientific leadership, community leadership, and we also have student awards that reward outreach and citizenship and leadership. So one part of the curriculum enhancement was this Masters in Health Data Science, and so we started with a concentration first, and that was successful and quite in demand. So we went for a full master's program. The first cohort started last year with 16 students. This year we received about 145 applications for this program, and the jury is still out how many of them are going to come here. So Big Data Summer Institute, this is our flagship undergraduate summer research program, and many of you are here. I'm just loving all of you, and it feels like children have come back home. This is the best thing I have ever pursued or tried in my career, and we have been running that for the last 9 years. We have trained 326 soldiers in data science, and they are changing the world one theorem, one algorithm, or one and wrong code at a time. But this has been many of you are coming from that program. You know that, again, it's not just about scholarship, it's about community. I think that our department stands out in terms of providing computing support to the students. We have 2 full-time in-house computing support person. One develops R packages, because many times you write R codes, they remain in your GitHub, but you don't go the extra mile to convert that into a package and a vignette. So Mike Kleinsasser is our R package, and he's a wonderful person. And then Jacob is coming, and Dan Barker was our cluster support person, but he left for a fantastic job. But Jacob is coming from next Monday, really assist people with high performance computing and cluster computing. So we have a department software page, and I strongly encourage you to actually go and go to the departmental web page and Biostatistics Computing Resources Software, and you can see the incredible amount of software and tools faculty are developing. You can search by area, you can search by faculty. This is our product, right? Like if people ask you that, what do you do which is democratized, which is going to be used by others? So software is one currency which we know, because technical papers are, after all, for a limited audience. So it's very important if you develop a method to translate that to the software, and we have that commitment and we put resources to it. This is something is very important for a department, that if you talk about something, then you have to enable the community to pursue that path. And so I think that's very important. We also have a departmental inclusion and wellness advocate. Chidima is working with our students, organizing events so that they're mindful about their wellness, about stress busting events. This is a joint position with epidemiology, so she also organizes a lot of joint events with epidemiology. So what is our goal? We want to produce brilliant scholars in statistics and biostatistics, but it doesn't really matter if you're not happy in the end. So we really want to create, foster a community so that we have happier graduates of tomorrow. And our students are amazing. You'll meet the current students. They're the best part of a faculty life. They organize many, many events, some intellectual and some just pure fun. Graduate student seminar, journal club, brown bag. Biostatistics Student Association, StatCom. This is our flagship organization working with nonprofit organizations. Dr. Spino is here, who has been involved in the leadership of StatCom for many years, and also events on diversity, equity, and inclusion. So I'll just give you one project that I have now recently undertaken. It's actually to showcase and catalog the careers of women who have taken research leadership role, who are former graduates of the department in the last 5 years, 5 to 10 years actually. And you can see the different phases of leadership. And our students have been really, really remarkable in proving themselves in the outer world. And I just want to show you some of last year's graduates' careers. So Fatima graduated last year, class of 2023. I just picked 3 from this style of brilliant and powerful and empowering women. Is an assistant professor of biostatistics in Boston University. Ingma is an assistant professor of biostatistics in Brown University, and they're all the last class. Margaret Banker, assistant professor in Northwestern University. So I think that sometimes we just struggle with work-life balance and a lot of questions, but these role models, I want to showcase their careers. They are doing leadership in academia, government, and industry, and this is an opportunity for our current and incoming graduate students to know about their career. So we have a lot of community building events, a lot of fun. We are big enough so that we can actually rent a movie theater and fill it up. So last month we watched Oppenheimer together, and students vote on the movie. And so the previous year, it was Everything Everywhere All at Once, that really jarring movie. And so we have so many events. We have pie contest. I'm going to show you something. So last March 14th on the Pie Day, we had this enormous spread of pie, and our staff are incredible. You have probably figured that out. And then we had a countdown to like at 3:13, and you can see that. 3, 2, 1. So this was our pie drop. So if you did not figure it out, it's just like the puck drop. The pie was dropped, and one student could remember 160 places of decimal. He got a special award. So it's all the kind of like, and that's Debraj right here, and his brother is Swaraj, and they look similar. So they will be here today, and so Debraj congratulates him for remembering 160 places of decimal of the pie. So this is, I don't know. I don't want to do that again. Okay, so as I said that students really, like, we go for the new students, we have a retreat in Camp Storer, true camping feeling. When I came to the United States, I did not know what s'mores were till like after 15 years of my immigrant life. So I wanted everyone who is coming to know what s'mores are on their first week. So that's, and this is a discovery which should not wait so long in your life. So I really wanted that to happen. We also have a wonderful lecture sequence called Journey Lecture. We had a brilliant lecture by Dr. Kidwell yesterday, and it was so amazing. And you can see, if you wanted to see a lot of baby pictures, this is your moment. And this has been a really galvanizing moment for the community, because we only see people through our CVs. We do not know their childhood, what they experienced, their struggles, how they fell in love. And so all of these secrets are revealed in a journey lecture. So I really love it. I think that you can go to many other departments. You are not going to find a department which is so good in terms of food, party, and skits. So we are good at skits. And this is, you can see, me, our former chair, and like a seminal researcher, Rod Little, and Dr. Kidwell. And I'm going to show you, and this is on our YouTube channel. I really want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have very few followers, and I really, even if you don't come here, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. show you. Uh, I'm going to spare you. Please do that like in your own time. But this is a really a skit about talk about vaccines, and so a really serious topic, but packaged in a humorous way. And Kelly was worried about vaccinating her children in the skit, in the skit, in the skit, in the skit, in the skit. So when COVID came, so COVID-19 was a time where all of us were thinking how to contribute to the society, how to contribute to this crisis. And so our collaborators and our colleagues in the medical school were working round the clock in emergency rooms and in ICUs, saving lives, living in their basement, living in their garages. And so faculty in Biostat really rose to the occasion. And there were so many faculty involved in so many impactful projects. So you can see that, and there's a lot of collaboration within the department. For example, Dr. Song's group proposed this very nice, cool package and methodology called ESIR for modeling the pandemic in Wuhan. And then our team actually borrowed that tool and wrote a very timely paper, which really was influential in governing India's public health policy. So this was our paper very quickly, and we are all working in a short, quick turnaround time. We also looked at not just India or China, but really here in our own academic medical system, where the outcomes, the COVID outcomes, were similar across racial ethnic subgroups. So sometimes I think that time comes when you have to forget everything and there is no choice except to work on some problems, and COVID was one of them. And this was also a very important paper led by one of our then graduate students about how much delay in screening and cancer treatment, how much that is changing the survival estimates for cancer patients. And this has been used really, really widely. These are highly cited papers and led to so many media mentions, and the department became very important in terms of the national eye, in terms of the quantitative work that we are doing for COVID. So I think I have sold the department to you. But again, if you are still conflicted, you're thinking whether to come here or not, then this song is going to change your mind. So no other department has an anthem like this. So I'm going to play, and Rod is a very talented singer. I'm not going to sing, but...
My name is Rod Little, and I've been in Biostatistics since 1993 when I came as the chair. I love the department so much that I even made up a song about it. Here's the first verse. We are Biostat, Michigan's where we're at, and we love all those symbols and graphs. Others think our t-tests are dull and flat, but our data's a barrel of laughs. We are Biostat, Michigan's where we're at, with our SAS and our PC3. Should old equations be forgot, Biostat is the place for me.
So I, just like Rod said, that Biostat is the place for me. I certainly have found my place in this department for the last 18 years, and I hope many of you find your place in this department, but most importantly, in the broader field of biostatistics. I cannot tell you how enthusiastic and inspired I am for our field. And so I hope you join Michigan Biostatistics, but I'm so thrilled that you are interested in biostatistics. That's so important to me. I'll be happy to take any questions that you have about the program, about the future, about statistics, about careers, anything. Do you want me to do something? Oh, I can throw them, yes. Kelly is a basketball player, so she will throw them. Thank you. Come on.
this microphone. So you showed us your pre-COVID kind of plan, your post-COVID plan. Do you have an idea of where you want to see the department go in the next 5 years?
So I think that, as I'm transitioning from the chair position, every chair has their own sort of vision, right? So I think that, but the vision is actually built by input from faculty and students and staff from their community. So the next chair will define the vision, but I definitely think that if I, as a senior faculty, can speak to that, and also our community of faculty, I think we need to be a little bit bolder in terms of our integration with computer science. I think that would be very important for us as artificial intelligence and these new models are really becoming very powerful. We need to be a voice in the game. And the second thing, we have been thinking a lot about this, that how to strengthen our undergraduate offerings, right? So that's also very important to us. The school has an undergraduate in public health, and there are some courses in biostatistics, but we are actually launching more courses. So that should be one part of the agenda. We also, I think that we have a long way to go. One of my marked failures have been to recruit students, faculty, and staff from truly diverse backgrounds. And I think that it has to be a priority. It's not easy, but to work from grassroots level towards building the pipeline to really recruiting and fostering a cohort of truly diverse community, I think that has to be one of the priorities. These will be definitely priorities. To maintain the size, right? So we have grown a lot, and with every growth comes some pain. And I think that together we have fought really hard that after the growth pain, we all stand taller, not as tall as her, but still, taller. So I do think that every community goes through this growth pains, this expansion pains, and how to really navigate that and still provide world-class education. For example, as we grew, we have 2 sections of each of our core courses, so the classrooms are not so big. We have tutoring for the first-year students. We have really tried to incorporate peer mentoring so that the students learn from each other. We have modified the qualifying examination. So I think that a department in agile and active, if it sort of transforms with the change, but I would think that these will be definitely priorities. But our field is changing so fast. When 2022 November, all the large language models were announced, people did not foresee that what would happen. There would be a job title called prompt engineer, right? I could not really talk about that. And then there is a course on prompt engineering in Michigan School of Information. So our field is changing very fast. So we have to be agile, and you have to teach students to have those skill sets so that they can pivot to new areas that I cannot predict right now. Yes, please.
Yes, I have a question.
Sure.
This is so weird.
Do you want to say your name and as well?
Yeah, my name's Eva. I was wondering if your department collaborates with other departments in the university for research and that kind of thing.
Yes, so we collaborate really, really widely. And so Michigan is, University of Michigan, that's something to really think about, because there are only very few universities which are so strong, cross-cutting in medicine and public health, in pharmacy, in social sciences. It's really iconic that ISR, which is one of the oldest survey organizations in the country and actually leads some of the nation's biggest studies, is actually in Michigan. So how many of you have used the Likert scale in terms of putting survey numbers and so on? And so so Likert was actually a faculty in ISR. And so it's really a very place of great history. And so with the statistics department, with the biostatistics department, bioinformatics, this is the quantitative sciences are very strong, but the clinical sciences are very strong. And so our main clinical collaborations in the department actually lie in cancer, in kidney disease, where we have different centers in terms of data coordinating centers, in terms of statistical genetics. We probably collaborate with almost every department on campus, but mostly in health. And there are cross-cutting institutions that you should look up, and 3 of them are Institute of Social Research, where many of our faculty are engaged, Institute of Health Policy and Innovation, where some of the work that we do gets translated to policy, as well as MIDAS, which is the Michigan Institute of Data Science. Faculty are really integrated into those, but also in cancer, in the Cancer Center leadership, I'm one of the associate directors for the Cancer Center, in cardiovascular diseases, in pain diseases. So we have really strong footprint in the biomedical and public health. But within public health also, we have a lot of collaboration with epidemiology and environmental health, where the data are getting more complex. And so to answer your question, that there is a lot of work, and you'll see from Michaela's presentation as well, to really think about climate change and environmental modeling and spatiotemporal modeling, and how does it relate to downstream outcomes like agricultural outcomes and health outcomes. That's also a big area which is coming up, where we are collaborating with many schools. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Straight this stuff. My name is Tom, and I would like to ask about your envisions for international students in the department.
So, as I mentioned, you probably saw in my presentation that I really believe in international scholarship. I came to the US as an international student in 1996. And I did not know anybody, right? Like, I do not have any friends, I do not have any family. I feel that the academic community really was my home and helped raise me as a human, right? So that's how we envision it. And the moment you leave your culture, your language, your food, and step into an unknown territory, it's a courageous move. And in that moment of courage, you also see that your exploration is wide open. And I strongly encourage, and I benefited a lot by stepping outside my comfort zone and making friends from different cultures and really knowing about the world. And so we believe in this community that we treat everybody with respect, but we also try to learn about our cultures. So I'll give you a couple of examples. One is that we just celebrated our Lunar New Year, a dumpling making event where everybody participates. We celebrate Diwali, we celebrate Lunar New Year, we have multicultural game nights because different countries have different games. And in a biostat department, people love games. So you can see, so that would be very attractive. And these journey lectures also showcases careers and lives of people, and we serve food from the country or the place of origin. So yesterday we had special Maryland granola because she is born in Maryland. So I just think that to embrace all cultures and treat everybody with respect is very important to us. And I think that there is a lot of adjustment, right? Cultural adjustment, social adjustment when you come to a new country and also get integrated with a new culture. There is a assimilation, there is social theory that you can belong to assimilation, separation, or integration, 3 types of environment. And one of the way that Chidima works with the students is to really understand one-on-one what their struggles are. So I would say that, and also your seniors form a very welcoming community in terms of the existing graduate students. So I really think that we have a lot of work to do in integrating the different cultures in a seamless way in the department. But I think that this is a global community of scholars, and you can see that reflected in our faculty, you can see that reflected in our students. And I'd also like to mention our summer program is one of the very few summer programs which accepts international applications, because we have a separate like funding through a donor, which actually, that's a priority for us, because usually training grants are restricted to US citizens and permanent residents. So this has always been a priority, a commitment to our students and to an individual. Other questions? You're feeling good about graduate school? Excited? Yes? Scared? Scared? Why? You could tell me why you're scared. Yes? Because I saw like a very appreciable nod. So tell me why you are excited and why you are scared. Maybe everybody shares that same.
Hey everyone, I'm Alex. I'm excited because, for one, I want to move out of Texas. That's a big one. But I think it's the next step for me, and I love a next step. I'm nervous, I think, just because it sounds hard, and I love a challenge.
Yes.
But I want to make sure I feel supported in the place that
Yes.
I go to, and I'm going to be leaving a lot of people behind.
Yes.
And I mean, leaving Texas behind, don't get me wrong, but also leaving, friends and family, and that's
Yes.
kind of scary to me.
Yeah.
So, didn't expect to be vulnerable, but here we are.
So this is the first step, right? Like this is a space which I think is safe and brave, and that's very important. That we do not always have to look invincible, right? We have our vulnerabilities. We leave our roots behind in order to pursue something bigger in life. And we can talk about international students, but all of us, very few of us have family nearby. We leave something to gain something and to gain that insight. And there are many places where actually graduate school or 10-year faculty life, you'll say, oh, this is very hard. Let me see whether you can succeed. You have to be smart. But I do think that I can honestly vouch for this, that the moment I entered Michigan, I was a very young parent and completely lost, like a failure of a academic at the time. Things changed because I was going through a difficult time in life, adjusting to different forces that life is about. Work is not just life. And I struggled in the beginning, but nobody made me feel that, oh, let us see whether you can succeed. It was everybody trying to help me and support me to figure out a way how to make me succeed. That is extremely important, that where people are not always judging you for your brilliance, but really supporting you to be your best. And I think that was very important to me, and I really felt that in Michigan. And it's okay to be nervous. I had an Italian friend, and he will always say that it's okay to cry. So I think that it's okay to cry. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be afraid of failures. That's only through which facing our fears are the way we grow. But there is a bigger pursuit of doing something really, really important with the talents that you have, making a difference. And see a room full of friends and faculty, everybody is there to support you, elevate you.
Dr. Mukherjee, we have a question from a student online. He says, dear professor, is it because we are a, thank you. Dear professor, is it because we are a more combined subject, it's harder for AI to take place than pure statistics? Can you share something more with our advantages or threats to AI developing?
So this is a great question. So let me give you some perspective. One is that I do think that there will be tremendous application and integration of AI into biostatistics. I do think that so far it has been mainly the methods have been coming from computer science and engineering schools, but I think it's soon going to see massive integration with biostatistics. I'm part of the university-wide AI resource committee, as well as the Assistant Vice President for Research Data Strategy, and we are seeing a lot of effort. I'll just give you one example. These AI tools and large language models are really, really good in analyzing data which are multimodal. For example, text messages, or clinical notes, voice messages, images, and all of the structured data and the unstructured data together. So for example, in analyzing electronic health record, once we can create an environment where protected health information can be securely analyzed, then we are going to see massive influence in terms of data integration and analysis of heterogeneous multimodal data, because they just have the foundation models have that flexibility of really taking different data types. If you say, I'm going to do a statistical model which has images as an object, or it has voice messages or clinical notes as an object, it's sort of so it's not really naturally intuitive for statistical models to think like that. But I think that there are many models and AI models, and also we need to understand the properties of this model, evaluate this model. But I also share a lot of concern in terms of fairness and ethics of these AI models. If you think about the current AI models, their training data is coming from a very selected group of people in the world. And so if you're building your model on a very biased training data, and policies and decisions are being made on that biased data and biased algorithm, then inequities are going to really reinforce themselves. And we need representation in terms of the training data, and then before we apply to test data all over the world or validation data all over the world. So how to design and evaluate these AI tools, statisticians are going to play a humongous role in that, and we are seeing a lot of conversations. This has already taking different professional learned societies attention, and we are building forces to understand. We may be a little slow. Statisticians are usually very deeply rigorous people, but I think that we are going to make tremendous contribution in innovation in terms of design and evaluation of these tools. And the other thing I wanted to mention that there are areas in which universities can really use these AI tools, that the areas which may have global and positive social impact. So for example, the application of AI to climate and sustainability, the application of AI to education, the application of AI to human health, application of AI to poverty solutions. These are areas where I think that our existing strength can blend, where probably big corporations and industries are not going to invest as many resources. So AI with human-centered AI and AI for positive global impact is where I think that universities are going to make tremendous contribution. We are good? All right. Thank you so much.